Hey guys, it's your girl Italia or Tally from TALI'S and Eye Candy Makeup Store, and I'm here with another video. If you want to see what's happening, continue watching. This one is on how to achieve a fresh face. So before we get started, there are some products that I know that you will need in order to make this face happen, okay? So you wanna make sure that you have your foundation. You wanna make sure you have a pressed powder, loose powders in the form of an invisible or translucent powder, or some type of oil blocking powder will be good. A highlighting powder is what you're gonna need. I'm using Sacha Buttercup setting powder. You're gonna need to properly prime your face, so you can use, I use the e.l.f. Oil Control setting mist. It's a primer mist, and I also use the Flori Shine Away oil blotting primer for my face. Other than that, you're gonna need a cream concealer. You will need cream concealer. You will need cream contour. You're gonna need a highlighting powder. You will need a contour powder. You will need lipsticks, a lip liner, your mascara, liquid liner, eye pencil, brow pencil, and of course you're going to need a variety of tools like your powder brush, your foundation brush, concealer brush, a spoolie, 2 or 3 eyeshadow brushes with different shapes at different sizes. You will need a blending sponge, wedges, and if you're going to do lashes, you're going to need strip lashes and your lash glue. And I also have my handy dandy fan. It's not a must, but you know, it's absolutely cute to have. I think I covered everything. Once you have those products, and if there's anything missing, I'll definitely make a note. But once you have those, then we can definitely get
So let's get started. We're going to begin by applying mattifying primer. I'm using the e.l.f. Luminous Matte Primer, and I love to put this under my eyes because even though it's mattifying, it's still luminous, so it does not take out all of the oils and moisture underneath my eyes. And I really want to retain a little bit of that moisture there because I don't want any fine lines and wrinkles developing from drying out under my eyes. And then I'm going to go in with the Oil Control Primer from Flori, and this I place on my cheeks, on my nose, on my forehead, on my chin. And I love this product because once you apply it, you can feel the difference. You can feel your skin tightening, and then you can see that the face is nice and matte and dry. And I like to put it in my eyebrows as well. This product is so good that you can actually wear it by itself, even if you're not wearing any makeup at all. So we're going to jump right into our eyebrows. I love to start with my eyebrows. And I'm going to begin by combing them up. This helps to create depth in the eyebrows. And then we're going to go right in and fill in the brows, beginning at the inner corner of the brows and feathering it out to the outside. Right there, I'm just lining up my brow to make sure that it isn't too long on the outside or it doesn't spill over onto the center of my forehead. And that is very important that we line up our eyebrows. I'm using hair strokes to feather in and fill in any sparseness or bald areas in my eyebrows to make the brow look super full and thick and not pasty by pressing too hard on the pencil. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. What's important too is to make sure that your brows are balanced. It does not have to be perfect, ladies. I know how you girls go. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to be balanced for the most part. And so every now and then I need you to keep looking into the mirror just to make sure that they're both somewhat even and balanced. Feather strokes, if you're using a pencil, I like to advise that you sharpen up. Keep it nice and sharp so that you can get nice crisp hair strokes for your eyebrows. And then we're just back and forth right here just to make sure it's all even. Giving it what it needs. And those brows are looking good, Tally. And there's my spoolie, an absolute must tool that you need to have and use. This helps to feather and soften the pencil or product that you're using. And especially at the beginning of the eyebrows, you can use it to soften up the beginning if you're in the habit of creating a harsh line at the beginning of your eyebrows. So you want to gently rub that over the beginning of that harsh line at the beginning of your eyebrows, just to soften and to help that eyebrow look nice and feathered. Okay, I'm really a sucker for good eyebrows, so just excuse me right there. Just me being me. Okay? Tally, I think them eyebrows are done, girl. Gosh. So we're moving right along. We're going to use concealers. I'm using 2 concealers. I'm actually using Chestnut from LA.Girl and Toffee from LA.Girl. I like to use 2 concealers because I just do. And actually the lighter one, I like to keep that in the arch because using lighter products really helps to push up and make bigger and higher. So I like to keep that in the arch. And as you're about to see, I'm going to use the darker concealer just to feather off the edges of my lighter concealer, and I'm going to use that over the top. I'm using a flat, round, or dome-shaped concealer brush because I feel that it works best in getting underneath the eyebrows versus using a straight edge or angled brush. And right here, I'm blending out the edges of my concealer, that first concealer, the Toffee, putting it around it and making sure not to lose that brightness underneath the arch. And using the brush flat against the skin and very lightly, very gentle, so they can lightly smooth and blend those products together. Making sure those tails are nice and sharp. If you touch them, you'll get stick. And so we're going to go over the top, and this can feel a little tricky. And I'm just brushing over the top, cleaning up the edges of my eyebrows. And right here, I'm just going back and forth in my concealer, adding just to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect with my eyebrows. I know this could be a little tricky, especially going over this opposite eyebrow, my left eyebrow, with my right hand. It always feels a little weird. So you're really going to have to kind of twist your body a little bit just to get that, and really make sure that you can see the edge of that eyebrow tail so that you don't get in the eyebrow and, you'll just have to start all over again, or at least do some correction. Okay? So I'm just blending at the beginning again, making sure they're balanced. One isn't too thick on the inner corner than the other. And once we're satisfied, we can move on to our foundation. Now I've been using the black opal for a while, and there's my palette. I have all my products on my palette. And I'm just brushing away and starting from the center of the face, where we should see most of our product. And then I will feather out to the outer part of my face, to the sides, the jawline, the hairline, and chin area. Over the nose. And I'm using it's a small brush, but it's dense, so it's really able to allow me to properly paint that foundation on my face without leaving streaks and lines. So if you have a bigger version of that, that's fine. Absolutely fine. And so I'm just going down, and as you can see me work my way down and around my face. And I'm getting a little bit of that onto the lips, and that's fine. We can use our foundation to even out our lips if you have dark lips, or if you're about to use a lighter color. You can use your foundation or concealer onto the lips to even it out. And we're just brushing away and making sure we get absolute coverage with our foundation. Over the cheeky area, I have a little breakout acne marks on my jawline. Brushing into the hairline. I love to cover my ears, chin. And remember, all of the neck is considered a part of the face. I know if you were wearing a very light color, you may be concerned, and that's okay. In that case, obviously, you want to keep your makeup a little higher. But if you can, please brush down and catch the neck as well. We're just brushing a little bit of that foundation onto the lid and making sure it's not creased before we set it over the top of the eyebrows. And I'm using my oil-free setting mist from e.l.f. And I like to use this in between my foundation, in between my products, just to allow for those mists to mix in with the product to work at its maximum. Making sure our foundation is blended is paramount. It's very important. So I'm just pushing that product in while making sure everything is absolutely blended. I'm using my handy dandy fan just to dry down the product. Very important, especially with us wearing our face masks. We want to make sure our makeup is not moving. So I'm just going to go over with our concealer onto the face. And I'm actually mixing concealers. If you find the right concealer, that's fine. It doesn't have to be 2 concealers. But I use 2 because I don't want the lighter concealer to be overpowering. I don't want it under my eyes to be too bright and white. I really want it to look as natural as possible. So while I may go in with a lighter concealer, I always take a little tip of that darker one just to soften it and warm it up to really make sure that this is nice and natural. If you don't want to use 2 concealers, you can use a little bit of your foundation to warm up that lighter concealer, just to keep it all as natural as possible. So concealer over the top of the lip. Tip of the chin. I don't need much of this. My face is very narrow. And how you highlight and contour your face, it should really be suited to your face shape. I have almost like an oval shaped face. Very oval, very narrow. And I'm just highlighting the top of my nose, applying that highlighting concealer, right where it's needed. Now I'm using my Inglot concealing foundation, concealing foundation as a contour cream. And as you can see, when I contour my nose, I don't take my contour all the way down the sides of my nose, but I stop right over the top and I come down the sides just to break up the roundness of my nose. So again, depending on the shape of your nose will determine how you would contour your nose. Everyone's nose is different. And then just getting the top of my forehead. And as you can see, I'm using my foundation brush as well, which is good because it still has a little bit of that product from the foundation. So it will soften my contour so that it doesn't look too overpowering. And I don't look like weird with a bunch of like dark marks on my face. Because you want to make sure all of this is nice and seamless. So we're just blending away our concealer. And notice we haven't used any powder products. We're using all cream products at this point. So even if you had a cream blush, it's at this point that you would apply your cream blush to your face. We mix all light products together, all cream products together, all powder products together. So we're making sure that they're all blended, using my blending sponge just to soften all of this together. And I want to say that you need to make sure too that your lighting is very good, because you want to be able to see the face in its entirety. Once we're satisfied that everything is nicely blended, now we set. Number one rule of makeup, we set all cream products. And I'm going in with the Sacha Buttercup using a wedge underneath the eyes, alongside the nose, the other eye, I'm keeping this very light. To my mature women, please be mindful that this step right here is very, very drying. It takes out a lot of moisture out of the skin, and it also leaves a nice residue. Especially the Sacha does not have any flashback, which is the reason why it was made so, it became so popular. And so, our mature women, be very light with this powder. And you don't have to bake for so long. In fact, you can just use a brush it on very lightly, and brush right off. Brush on and brush off. Wax on, wax off. Okay, so just dropping that highlight in all the areas that I applied my concealer. And now I'm going to go in with my powder. I'm using Black Opal Dark. Sometimes I bounce between medium dark and dark. So I'm using a very big fluffy brush. And I'm not buffing so much. My apologies there, Italia. Very rude. You can't see what you're doing. So I'm just pushing that product. Pushing that product into the face. Again, all in an effort to block the pore. I know, I know that sounds so scary, but in essence, that's what we're doing. And that's what we want to do. We want to minimize oils and moisture from pushing through our makeup. And I'm going over my powder with an oil blocking powder from Black Opal. I so love this. I love this product. I mean, it's amazing. And you could use that product by itself. So from this point in, instead of using any products with tint or adding any more powder to my face, I'm just going to be using this very lightly milled translucent powder. This is to ensure that my makeup doesn't look too cakey and overdone. So whenever I touch up from this point, Tali, move the mirror, please. Thank you. I'm gonna be using my translucent powder. I'm brushing it in my eyebrows, under my eyes, alongside my nose. It's a beautiful product. And then we're just gonna finish up our eyes by applying a liquid liner. I don't have a fancy technique. I keep it real simple when I'm applying liquid liner by simply allowing the brush to hug the lash line. Starting from the inner corner, I'm moving right along the lash line. If I want a thicker liner, I take that liner brush and I place it just above that first line. And again, very slowly, I move along the lash line and then parallel to that first line. And I keep it real simple. I make sure my liners are even. One isn't higher than the other. And once I'm satisfied with my liner, then I know I'm good to go. So we're going to start with our lashes. We already put the lash glue on. Showing you the lash glue right there. In fact, I was just measuring the lash just to make sure it isn't too long for my lash line. And I'm pretty comfortable with it. So after applying the glue, we wanted to get a little tacky. And once it's a little tacky, I want you to be able to see this. Just bear with me. Just up a little bit more, Italia. Yes. And I put that lash strip right on my lash line. I want to make sure that there's no space between. Now, having the liquid liner on first is a good measure, because if you can't see your liquid liner, it means that your lash has been placed too high. So when you're applying the lash, you want to make sure you push the lash against the lashes and that the liquid liner that you apply is exposed. And then we know for sure that our lash is not too high. So I'm applying the second lash. And you'll find that once the lash glue is tacky, applying it to the lash is super easy. And I'm just squeezing them together to make sure they're nice and comfortable. Once I'm happy with my lashes, I go in and I just comb them, my lash into the strip lash, just to make sure that my falsies are super comfortable. And then we go in with the glow. Look at her go with that glow. Yes, so this Maybelline highlighter is like a cult favorite. We carry it at Eye Candy Makeup Store. It is amazing. Love it. And you want to feather out this glow. Keep it on the high of the cheek, top of the cheek. It should not go on the side or below the cheek. So I like to smile just to make sure I, get that positioning right. I'm brushing just a little bit of that underneath my eyebrows, my Cupid's bow, top of the nose, very lightly. Now this brush I'm using could have been a little smaller too. I think it's a little wide. And I love a glow because it can really add a little sheen into the skin. Now, if you don't want to look too shiny, maybe you may want to stay away from the glow and just do a blush. And at this point, I'm restoring the contour back into my face. Even though there's still some peeking through my powder, we just want to make sure that is on point. Contour of the face, forehead. Now we're going to do the inside of the nose, sides of the nose. And I like to brush my contour into my eyebrows. just following the areas that I would have placed my cream contour. And contouring is important because it restores the natural highs and lows of the face so that the face doesn't look so flat. Okay? So I like to brush that contour powder over the top of my eyes, sides of the nose, sides of the face, top of the forehead. Again, so that it looks very, very natural. We're adding a liquid lipstick actually. This one is from Inglot. And you notice I didn't put on a liner. Liners are optional. If you feel you need to put a liner on to guide you, that's pretty okay. So I'm pretty comfortable with going in with a matte liquid lipstick because it's gonna dry down solid. It won't move. But if you have a lip pencils to match, did I say lip pencil earlier? If I didn't, I meant lip pencil. If you want to outline your lips with a lip pencil, then that's fine. But once you have a steady enough hand, you can go in with your liquid lipstick as is. And you're good to go. So our face. This is it. A nice fresh face. Miss Collie, you wanted this. Simple, to the point, not overdone. I'm just adding more color. You still look fabulous. You can see you made an effort to come out of the house this morning. Hope you liked it.
Okay, so I slipped off camera. I had a change of clothing. I touched up my makeup a little bit. I did add another little color in the middle there, something from Glamorous Chics. And now it is time to set this makeup. Okay, so makeup is setting. And we're just gonna let that do its thing. And we're all ready for the day. I'm just so loving my fan. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for joining in and watching my video. I do hope it was helpful. I hope I gave you the information that you needed to take your makeup application to another level. This is just a fresh face, and so you can see you can be fabulous even with a fresh face. If you have any questions or any concerns or any notations, please feel free to just drop a note right down there. Let me know, and please, positive feedback only. And I'll do my best just to incorporate any of your suggestions or anything that you recommend in my next video, because we're trying to take this to the world. All right, so thanks again for tuning in. So subscribe, like, share this video, and you're definitely gonna see more of me. So I'm just like liking and loving on this face.